Hey guys, it's Chris from Chi-Town DSM. I got a message from Dominic. He's a member of Chi-Town DSM. He's driving a 94 GSX, and he's looking for a simple 300 horsepower, 13-second street car. At this point, Dominic's got a turbo back exhaust that includes apex downpipe with a 2.5-inch busher catback, from what I understand, and the rest of the car is completely stock, so we got something to build off of. Next step, Dominic, would be the fuel, and the 190 fuel pump that you wanted to put in there. That would be a great upgrade, and if you could rewire that, that would be a good help too. That 190 fuel pump will allow you to keep the stock fuel pressure regulator, so it'll save you money in the end. It should be all that you need. You will be running into a problem with that 1G mass if you still have that. You're going to run into fuel cut issues with that 1G mass. As you increase that boost, the 1G mass won't be able to calibrate that airflow, and it'll go into fuel cut. And what we do in this situation is just move right up to a 2G mass, and that 2G mass will meter that air a lot more accurately. It will not go into fuel cut, and that's something that we need to do. As far as injector size, you wanted to go to those Evo injectors or the 550s. You're going to find that those Evo injectors or 550s, you're going to max those out real quickly, and it's going to be, in the end, it's going to be a waste of money on your part. And I would personally move up to a 680 injector. Some guys are going to think that that's a little bit too high, but I like to have more fuel than I need because I can always adjust for it. And you're going to learn that, and it's always better to have more injector than less injector. As far as for your tune is concerned, you've already got a EEPROM, so you were thinking about having the chip burned for the 2G mass and the injector size we're going to go with. A lot of guys do that, and they go with the SAFC, and what happens is in the end they find out that SAFC is a real limit to them on how much power they can get out of their car, because the SAFC limits your injector size to about 720 because you can only pull so much fuel out of that SAFC to have the car run decently. I personally, with the money that you're going to be spending on a data logger, on SAFC, and getting a chip burned, you're far better off going with DSM Link. It's a little bit expensive right now at $500. It sounds like a lot of money, but if you think about it, in the end, it's going to be the same amount of money if you add your SAFC and your chip burn and you got your data logger yet. So in the end, the DSM Link is far superior. You're going to get a lot more adjustability out of your tune, a lot more power out of your motor. It just by far is superior to any SAFC out there. You're going to have that DSM Link in your car forever, unless you hit 8s, but I don't see that happening. But with the DSM Link, all your adjustability is all in there. If you want to go to 1000 cc's ever injector size, it's all switchable inside that DSM Link. There's nothing to send in. It's all right there, and it's such a nice tool to have. Every DSM should have one. It's by far one of the best tools that I have in my car. As far as your turbo is concerned, what you want to know, if the 14B would be okay or the 16G, that stock 14B is going to be just fine for you. Guys are running in the low 12s, on race gas with that turbo, but with you on pump, you're not going to have any problems knocking out the times that you want to knock out with this thing. As far as porting the O2 housing and the manifold, it's a good idea. You can't go wrong doing that. If you can do it yourself, you got experience, you got the tools to do it, by all means go for it, man. It's all it's gonna do is help out that turbo breathe and perform better. Um, let's see, your intercooler selection. You wanted to go. You said you had a SRT4 intercooler that you thought you could modify and make work and this and that. And to be honest with you, it's and you've already said that you've already bought the short raw piping for a 1G, and you're far better off buying a front mount that's already designed for that piping, that short raw piping that you have for one, and the vehicle for another. And you buy a front mount that's designed for you'll have it done in a day, a weekend, instead of a month of having your car done because you're trying to fit up this front mount that's not designed for the car. And it just becomes such a pain in the ass, and you wish you would have went a different way, and it's just so much easier when things go so smoothly when you have your car in pieces. So Extreme Turbo Systems, they offer really good front mounts. They're not that expensive. You can get a street front mount for $350. You don't need a huge core, race core or anything. You just need that street core. That's it. That'll get you in the 11s. But what else? I think that's about all we covered. It's a pretty basic setup, Dominic. 190 fuel pump, the 2G mass. We gotta get that in there. The 680 injectors. If you want to go with the DSM link, you can run 1,000cc injectors in your car in a 14B daily if you want to. That's if you go the DSM link way. But if you go with the custom chip and the data logger and the SAFC, go with the 680s. But as far as the manual boost controller, just basic manual boost controller, set that thing at 18 pounds. Once we got all this equipment on the car's running good, it's not knocking. Set that thing at 18 pounds, a 93 pump, and that'll be a real fun street car, and that should knock down a mid 13.5, 13.8 on a GSX. No problem with the track, and it should be a real fun street car.